Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Social with Rocky House. You are welcome to the room where we're going to have an amazing session. I was about to say 30 minutes. I was like, no, I'll make it an hour, probably less than an hour, but it will be a quick session. And this will be a good session for us to have and talk about some things that we can cover today. And I'm excited about today's room because I just want to, you know, highlight and give you some ideas on what you can do this year, especially this month, to start building connections and, more importantly, start converting your leads to meetings to sales, and how you can do that consistently without having to worry about what's happening, where it's happening at, just focusing on you, focusing on your business, focusing on your plan. And that's how things start to get better. So you have to think about where you're beginning, what your stack is, what your plan is, what your goal is, how your goal is presented, and where you're presenting your goal. I said those two last things: how your goal is presented and where you're representing your goal. Because how you represent where you're showing consistency and showing planning and showing action and showing thinking, forward thinking, then you start to build something called community led growth. And that is something that I've been seeing around. Even Flowdesk has talked about it too, how, brands reallocate time and resources towards marketing channels that can really foster genuine and meaningful connections, like with their community. So think about it, right? The connections you're making with your community, are they meaningful? Are they repetitive? Are they redundant? Are they stressful? Are they responsive? Are they exciting? Are they genuine? Are they helping? Are they really there for each other, or are they there for themselves? So when you look at your community, you want to ask your community and build out something that will allow you to build a long-term strategy. Because when you're thinking about your business and you're thinking about how your business is running, you're not just thinking about how your business is running, you're thinking about how your business will run without you being there one day. Not that you're not going to be on your business all the time, but if you want to be on your business and work through it consistently, then there's some measures that you'd have to take, right? That's going to help you really, really push through and really push out, connections that you can build from the jump. And those connections can start to really give you insights, because the insights that you're creating for yourself, it starts with you. It starts with how you present yourself. Because if somebody wants to work with you and they ask you, how can I pay, or how can I do this, and you can't provide that, then that's where things could, change for you. That's where things could go a little bit off. One, to do something, but you can't do things more consistently. Where can I even be more consistent with my intention? So when I'm thinking about the leads perspective, you're also thinking about four things, because I kind of created it's like a triangle, a 4-3-2 concept, between leads, meetings, and sales, and how you can have those two. And it's not like they're just automatically going to start happening, but you need to create the platform, the system, the plan, the idea, and the space, to have that going for you. So ideally, when you're thinking about your business, you're thinking about your plan, you're thinking about your goals, those are the things that you are seeing from a distance, that is creating the reality that shows how important and how focused and how focus driven you are, or you could be. Because when you start to create intention for people and start building relationships, then these are the things that's going to start to create tendencies that will grow into your search, your behavior, your consumer, your product, your moves, what you create, how you create things. So you're not just creating content for content's sake, you're building awareness in the presence of confusion, if I can put it like that, because everybody's confused on what to buy, where to buy, how to buy, who to talk to, how to talk to them, where to talk to them, when to talk to them, because if there's no when, there's no what. So you have to look at it from the revolution of what is going to make the person that wants to work with me, and think about yourself in this picture. What would somebody take, or how would they take to work with me, build into my story, into my vision? How will those things be working for me? And if it's working for me, then how well could it be working, so that I don't have to focus on other things or be more stressful in between. So those are some things that you have to really think about and build into your plan, because that is where you start to see ideas, and you start to see things that can really really blend into your brand experience long term. So just wanted to say good morning to you, Brendan, and as well Abundance Reporter, good morning. Thank you for being here. It's a great morning. I decided to do something quick this morning, and just come on Clubhouse and talk a little bit about some things on how you can convert your leads to meetings to sales. So if you have any question, feel free to let me know, raise your hand, ask me. It's a free space. I'll be here till 8:30, maybe 8:29, but I'll be here for a short time for the day. So usually I like to extend my rooms, but I'll only extend it if it's big. But I'm at meetings back to back today, so I said I'm going to spend an hour and do something on Clubhouse and see who's going to show up, and I'm gonna help them out. So hey, Brendan, good morning. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Hey.
Hey, how you doing, man? Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Grand Rising. I just want to put some good energy in the chat for everybody. I'm big on that. That's the first thing I do. I give gratitude to the world and to our Savior first thing in the morning. Just thank you for occupying the space as well. I appreciate you for waking up this morning and wanting to spread some information, because it's crazy you got on this morning talking about marketing sales, and then last night I was kind of flustered a little bit. I'm an interior painter. I have my own company. I just started back up after COVID. I just finished this house for a realtor. I just took my pictures and video for a finish. I have the before and afters, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, one of my female friends, she pointed me to a lady on Instagram on how to put your pictures together and like the content and stuff like that. Like, I want to understand that a little bit more, I guess, because I've never been in sales. I've worked on the other end, I've been the worker, but I've never actually been on the other side where you're the person putting the ads out and you're doing all of this. So this is my first time. Sorry, I know that's a lot.
Oh no, that was perfect. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I think this is a great way for me to start this conversation, because as soon as you were speaking about your business, one thing came to mind, and I was like, "Hold up, Brendan, have you thought about Pinterest at all?"
No, I haven't.
Huh. Okay. The reason why I'm saying it is because I can go into so many levels. I can go into interior design. I can go into interior paint colors. I can go into, I literally typed on Google, sorry, on Pinterest right now,
Okay.
interior paint, and I'm seeing interior paint colors 2023. So I'm sure there's going to be interior paint colors 2024. There's interior paint colors for house. That's one, two, three, four, five. Now, if Brendan, I would love to, know more about your business, because this is something interesting, and I'm big on houses, interior, travel. So definitely, I'm just blessed, and I'm happy that you showed up in the room today. So interior paint colors for house. This keyword phrase right here is one phrase that you can pull a lot of attention to your business that will
Okay.
convert your leads to meetings to sales.
All right. Hold on, my brother. Hold on, my brother. Let me get a pen. I got my notebook. And you know what's funny? I used to live in Houston for 3 years, and I had a neighbor, and his name is Al. We still stay in contact. Older gentleman. He said something, and I just want to put this into the group. I don't know how big everybody is on philosophy or philosophers or anything like that, but just a quote. When the student is ready, the teacher shall appear.
Mm, that's a fact. That's a fact. Now I appreciate you for bringing this up, man. Let's handle this today. Let's do this.
Let's
And
go. Ready.
and let's go. And then as we're doing this too, click the link above so that you don't miss out. I'm gonna follow you, and I just followed you now. And then click the link above that's telling you to have a 30-minute growth mapping session with me, and that will take you to a link where you leave your first name and email, and then you'll get redirected to a Calendly page where you can connect with me, answer the questions. Then when we get the questions answered, you have it on your calendar, and then we can have a 30-minute solid session, just me and you on screen, and we can talk about everything, and I can show you what I'm looking at on my screen. So I'm going to give you the audio version today, but this is going to be something I hope you can be able to, take and let me know if you have any questions. So Pinterest
Okay.
is a great place to place your visual brand. And I see my friends in the building, them sneaking up D Hudson and hitting. I see y'all come through with it. So
Good
my
morning, my
homie,
brothers. Good morning. Good morning,
hey,
kings and
what's up?
queens.
Good
I appreciate
morning.
your consistency favor. Even if you don't know nobody's look, that consistency is there, my brother. And we people we always I'm a marketer, right? But we people always need marketing and reminders as we start new brands and launch new businesses and get to these new years. So let's go.
Let's go. Hey, nah, I appreciate you, man. I like to just be consistent. I think it's because one thing for me is I came to Clubhouse as an extension of my podcast, and I've been doing it for now close to 5 years. And I joined Clubhouse 2020, November 24th. And I said, you know what, Clubhouse is great because when I was doing podcasts, I was doing it by myself. The way I'm speaking right now, I would be speaking in front of my microphone without anybody listening, and I'll push it up to the internet, and then it goes through the podcast platforms, and that's how I used to start. And then coming on Clubhouse, I can now actually talk to people, talk with people, talk, for people, and connect with people. I was like, that's it. I'm going to be here whether this app is off. Unless this app leaves the app store, I'm going to be on here. So that's just me. And I like doing this consistently because I just value friendships, relationships, and connections because, I have friends for decades of, so I know the power and consistency. So thank you, D. Hudson. Appreciate you, man, for being here. Brendan came in with an amazing question and he's into interior paint. So if you have any ideas, D Hudson, just let us know. And you can also tell that to Brendan too, because I'm looking at Pinterest right now. And for you to convert your leads to meetings to sales, you have to think about your stack. You have to think about your marketing stack. And what is your marketing stack? How can I bring people into my business seamlessly? And a lot of us can't really figure that out because we're always stuck with the payment processing. How can we pay for this? Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, I don't have the time. There's always going to be an excuse. I've been there. I've seen that. People ignore things. They say, I'll come back next month. And then they never show up. And time has gone. And I'm like, look at all the money you left on the table. But they don't really see that because they didn't see it. That's the difference. So when you look at a way for you to get in, I would say start off with building your own website. You know, people always debate, should we build a website? Should we not? Do we need a website in 2024? Do we not? In my head, I'm like, do you need a place to lay your head at night? Yes, you need a house, you need a home, you need a place, you need a pillow, right? The same way you need a pillow,
You
there's a
need a
say,
digital home and
thank
stop
you.
being digitally homeless or digitally renting.
Thank you. That part. Now we're talking, and I really want to really bring this home, literally, because some of us we think about business and we're like, yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure, but hey, guess what? If you don't have a domain, Domain. Like when you define the word domain, how do you dominate? How do you like
The address
yo,
to your digital real estate.
do you know what I'm
It's
saying?
because people don't understand
Hidden.
citations. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing,
What's
man?
good, hidden?
People don't understand. They don't understand the power of citations.
It's a big
So citations is so it's like your it's like a it's part of branding pretty much. So those citations can go a long way, and it's like a lot of these like a lot of people missing the boat on some of these platforms because they just another citation. So you want to show up where people are looking for you at, and that's a lot of people overlook that aspect just totally. It's like, oh, I just want to do Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, but it's other citations that you can make. So that's how you create that EEAT, and that is like so many people overlook it, but it's needed these days because you can't even get funding for anything without a website. So it's just like
that
it's
part.
pretty.
Yo, hidden. Thank you for bringing that up, man. You're big on that, and I don't want y'all to think about what he said and ignore what he said about EEAT. That is experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Authority comes from your domain authority. When you hear the word domain authority, break the word up into two: domain authority,
Do,
your
do they
address.
do they even trust your do they even your domain is your digital real estate? But since you just moved in there, does the world even trust that
All
this
right,
is a place
building
of
that trust
authority?
factor.
So
Yes, sir.
if your domain doesn't have authority, most of the time your server, your email server don't have authority, meaning your server is not warmed up, meaning you may end up in a spam box, or you may end up with a limit of how many emails that you can send out because your email doesn't have authority, your address doesn't have authority, it is untrusted to the internet. That's the kind of, and the more authority you do have, the more Google is going to push you at the top of their rankings. So, or the internet is going to trust you more, just in general. Let's put that out there.
Exactly. So this is so good. I hope y'all are not missing any out on this because we don't want to confuse you. We want to we want to really make sure that you understand it because that's why I did not put SEO in the title. These days I'm trying my best to like remove the word SEO from my titles because I don't it's hard because people are like no, you got to
People,
put it back.
SEO scare people. SEO scare people, even though almost everything they do has something to do with SEO.
Exactly.
I was just man, I was just saying this to somebody the other day. I said you use Siri, right?
Yeah.
I said I said all of this stuff is part of it. It's like a big jigsaw puzzle. So it's a lot of pieces, but that's where a lot of people get discouraged because they're not willing to figure out the pieces of the puzzle, or they're not willing to utilize all the pieces of the puzzle. So that's that's you easily eliminating yourself from the EEAT by not doing those things. So it's just like it's it's a it's a cold world, just put it that way, but it's so relevant. And SEO is more for like a long term play. If you really want to establish yourself long term, SEO is definitely needed and
If you
need to
don't
be
mind me asking,
utilized.
I don't mean to be rude. What does SEO stand for?
Search engine optimization. So are you optimizing yourself for search engines, basically?
And
So
I
each
don't.
platform is a search engine.
Yeah, you're definitely spot on, but I don't think it's always a long term thing. Like favor was, it's mainly a long term thing because it's something you can do without no cost, and over time it actually it gains. But I think most of the time it's long term. But I think what favor was just talking about with Pinterest, for example, I'm not really on Pinterest, right? But that's the SEO I would be missing out on, right? Search engine optimization, basically. you would want to have your website by itself is not stamped all throughout the internet, right? But when it comes to pictures, let's just say, you're on Pinterest and you're searching bots, for example. I may build bots, but you may be a Pinterest consumer, so you may search Pinterest, and I don't have to be there on there for a long time. But if I'm not on there, to even be found, you could find me and purchase my services. But if that picture is pinned on Pinterest, but it's also on my website, and that's where it actually leads to when you actually start clicking, the search engine brought you to me. So, but just in general, I didn't have to be there for a long time. I just technically had to be there in the right place, optimized for you to find me. But if I'm not there at all, then of course you're not going to find me.
Exactly. And if you can't be found, you can't be seen. If you can't be seen, you can't be
And if it can't
remembered.
be remembered, you're going to go broke.
Right.
It's basically out of sight, out of mind. So that's how
That part.
people got to look at it. You out of sight, out of mind. If you can show up for what someone's searching for, that makes a big totally different. That's a total difference than just putting anything up there. That's why keyword research is a is pertinent. Also, just understand what they call the DA levels of certain platforms. If they got the domain authority of it, like a 90, and you can get in there, guess what? You're gonna get automatic traffic from that website. So it's like, one aspect of SEO. I don't want to throw nobody off, but right now it's working well is parasite SEO. So one place right now, the parasite, what they call parasite SEO, is working well is LinkedIn. And right now, a lot of people are making bank off of LinkedIn because they have a high domain authority, so they get show higher in the search engines when you have something there. Just like Pinterest has a high DA, so if you can show up there for certain things, it's basically automatically going to get traffic.
Exactly. I want to give y'all some numbers so you can really see what I'm talking about here. Pinterest is the 15th. 15th, guys. It's not top 5. It's not top 10. Pinterest is the 15th most used social media platform. And you might say 15th, why am I going to go to the 15th? Because I would consider that as a low hanging fruit. And that's why not a lot of people go there. But the people who do go there, out of the 92.8 million active users in the US that use Pinterest daily, and on average, they spend about 14 minutes on the platform. Out of that 92.8 million people that use Pinterest daily on Pinterest, yet, the platform itself, if you want to know like the full audience, there are over 450 million monthly active users, and that has been growing. So that number could be bigger by now, right? Out of those 92.8 plus million users in the US, 45% of the US users, according to Sprout Social, you can do your research, have an income of over 100,000 a year. That is 4.17 million active US Pinterest users that have that household income. And where it gets really granular is how do you figure out their zip code? Because when someone purchases a product from you online, guess what? The zip code is going to be there. So if you really go into the sales part, I'm not going to dive too deep, but if you forget the surface, the SEO, the search, the being found, the discovery, all that money in the bottom of the barrel, all that money in the bottom of the food chain, all at the bottom of the every funnel, I said it twice because you know what a funnel is, right? You're not going to get to that funnel if you can't dig past that well, past that position. That's why it's 15th, because nobody talks about it. But guess what? Disney advertises there. MasterCard advertises there. When the iPhone 15 came out, AT&T was advertising there. They literally, the whole screen, they have a shopping catalog ad that literally as you're swiping, you're going to see the ad running, right? Because these companies know that companies don't spend money on these platforms And the cost per acquisition is completely different from the cost per acquisition on other platforms. That's why Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everybody's running ads there. Great, but if you're not on LinkedIn, if you see me on Pinterest, and I know that 83% of those users use Instagram, then I still know I can pull in Instagram users, because all I need to do is push more on Pinterest, and then I get Instagram users to follow me. I remember one time my client told me, she woke up in the morning, she was like, Favor, I have like 50 new followers. I was like, yeah, that's because we spend time on Pinterest. Because she was like, I didn't post anything on Instagram. You didn't have to. You just had to be somewhere else to get a trust signal from a
Exactly.
source. You know what I'm saying?
They seen you over there, so now they want more information, so they followed your Instagram. So it's like you don't even realize you building the trust factor with them by them following you on their other platform, because that they showing that they have an interest, whether you realize it or not. You took them from one platform to another, so that shows that they have an interest right there, whether you realize it or not. But it's like,
Exactly. So, Brandon, to your question earlier about, interior paint, before I even go further, because I want to give you an example, but I want to hear what you're thinking, because I know it's a mouthful. We've said a lot. So I want to know what you're thinking before give you an example of what you could do.
Well, first off and foremost, thank you. I appreciate y'all for all y'all wisdom. Be honest, y'all. Hey, look, to me, y'all didn't say enough. I actually everything you guys were putting down, I was picking up. I've actually have spent some time in a couple master classes. There's a guy named Neo, I believe, Neo. I was in a master class with him, and he was going over a lot
Leo
of.
Davis.
Yep, he was going over.
Okay.
Yeah, he was going over all the stuff that you guys were talking about. It was just I couldn't go past that first master class to really get in more of the information I needed. Just point blank period. I'm listening. Keep going. uh, anything, any way you guys can help me, man, I appreciate it. I
What,
really
can I ask you where you located?
Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm in Cleveland too. That's crazy, bro.
For
So
real?
Would you look
yeah,
at
I
that?
swear to God, bro.
Oh man, bro.
Oh
Yeah. So
snap, me too. Oh, I'm
Hey,
just near Cleveland
hey,
Street. I'm near Cleveland Street, man. I lied. I lied.
D has
I'm near Favor though.
Hey,
yeah.
that's cool though. That's cool. Cleveland, that still count.
Cleveland
But
Street
yeah,
still
just
kind. I'm in there. But yeah, you was definitely talking some good sauce there, Flavor. But I think being consistent with this SEO thing, Brendan, is I think that's the biggest thing. Like I have a new website almost every week or two, but being able to think about these things, we literally have to do them over and over and over and over and over. When it comes to our just at least the setup stuff, the analytics, the tracking, the pixels, the funnels, the sales, the email segmentation, but the biggest thing with it when it comes to a lot is SEO. I know Favor said he's not trying to use the word in the title because it does kind of scare people, but it's literally not nothing scientific. Like, well, I guess there is some real science behind backlinks and some of the advanced stuff, but when it comes to using I use AI for SEO, and it kind of goes on a whole nother level. But if you don't know the fundamentals, though, like Pinterest, like when it's almost like he's talking about how to actually implement the strategy. But if you wanted to put it simple, you'd say, hey, if you got pictures on your website, instead of uploading them on your site, upload them on Pinterest and link them on your site, embed them on your site, because now those things digitally live in more than one place, right? Meaning you have more than one stamp of your brand out there. So when somebody searches, that is not just one place. And me, I always say, why would you upload videos on your website and pictures? Because ultimately, that actually slows down your site. So being able to upload a video in YouTube, but it's embedded on my site, I can have say, hey, look at my site or look at my YouTube, you know but I'm sending them my web platform, my .com. I'm not sending them a YouTube. They just happen to see my YouTubes on my website. With things like that, you know, anybody on my website can find it, and anybody that's just happen to be searching for those terms on YouTube can find it. So when you start splitting your content, thinking about, how can I optimize somewhere else besides my website? It's good to optimize your site, but you can have the best site ever. But if nobody finding you, if you're not directing traffic, if you're not, running, spending money most of the time, you're not getting anything. And the best way to get something is put it out there. You put it out there. I got to get better at putting it on more platforms, right? Technically, I am on Pinterest, right? When I started my print shop, I used to get paid from Pinterest, but I didn't know it. I would literally, create custom items for the last 10 years. So I would just randomly post little shirts and this and that, and on TikTok, not TikTok, Pinterest, and then next thing you know, I'm looking, I get a whole bunch of sales. I'm thinking it's from Google, right? And then I go to my Pinterest and I see all this traffic coming along. It's not about us though. It's about consumers. People like my mom. My mom gotta be on Pinterest all the time, collecting like little boards, and you know, I don't know what it's called, but being able to step inside those people's mentality. She wants custom stuff. She may not want it now, but she might want a category in her pen. And then they save those things. So it's not just go look at my Pinterest or I done shared a page. They're literally collecting the things that we put out. So they're literally actively seeing some of these things every day if we think about it. So
Just to add on what D said, with YouTube, people have to understand that's a Google entity. So they're going to show them higher in the rankings. All you have to do is have your titles optimized for those words. Even in video, they will show you. That's like a hack to get on page one quicker is video. So a lot of businesses don't use video or YouTube videos they don't have a YouTube channel for their business. I recommend you make a YouTube channel for your business because it can actually boost you higher in the rankings a little quicker. So it's, it's like a lot of those little things that people overlook. But I know it's working well right now is YouTube videos. So create you one for your business. And just like you said, you're in Cleveland, and I think you focus more on interior painting. So you might want to optimize yourself for interior painter Cleveland or something like that. And see what the numbers are, and then you could basically be off and running. Because a painter is kind of broad, so people might be looking specifically for interior paint. So that's just a way to look at it.
Ooh, you
yeah,
gave me
that's.
an idea right now. As you talking, D, I'm going into
Now go
Pinterest
ahead.
right now, and I'm gonna check the Cleveland um, audience on Pinterest for interior paint. So go ahead.
I don't know if we're doing some work. I need to get on this computer. I'm about to search Cleveland. You got to give it to me again. Cleveland interior painting.
Yeah, you could say Cleveland or just switch it around, pick Cleveland at the end. So you got to play with, you got to play with the
Oh yeah,
search
yeah,
a little bit.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
You definitely got to switch those words around. I think I call what I call like reverse keyword marketing.
Mhm.
I
Right.
think with because if we know we're trying to hit the target for just like you said, interior painting, that's just too broad because now now that's the whole United States and beyond, right? But if we zoom down to Cleveland, interior painting, then we have less people to go. I think with if we zoom down even more to probably more of a individual versus a company, whatever that word could look like, because there could be huge companies and there could be kind of solo individuals. It's kind of hard to go against some of the top head painters, but we could also. But the
But the
biggest thing
same
is
depends on. I mean, they can easily be be competed with what people don't realize
Oh yeah,
by
I'm
just
just
like you said.
sometimes it is a little bit harder. That's just
Oh
a
no,
little.
it's definitely harder. Just like if you was to go national, you about to compete. You gotta put some
Hmm.
money up because you gotta. If it's more competitors, it's gonna take more action to get in front.
But
But
no, what I was about
you
to say
doing it
though
in down.
is using your domain and using, a few, I would say use what Hayden was talking about instead of just using that one word, using a couple, right? So, because once you search your domain versus Cleveland, Ohio's interior painting, with a reverse engineer, marketing, you should be able to see exactly who is ranking for that said keyword. You should be able to get the
Right.
top people that are ranking for that and get the stats on why they're ranking for that, whether it's, the name and the title, name and the domain, keyword research, all those different
And just
aspects
look at
of.
their services. That go to their website, look at their services. You just reverse engineer their process. That's what you need to be showing up for, basically, because
Well, I
that's what.
reverse engineer their keywords, and then I reverse
Yeah.
engineer their marketing. Things like built with, right? We can put their um,
Hmm.
not built with. We can reverse their technology, right? If they're we can see if they're running ads and what countries they're hitting, stuff like that. But with things like similar web, right now we can see every single platform they're on. One thing, like I think Hidden and Favor just said it, being on all these platforms sometimes it's literally not for us, it's for our people, that our ideal client. So figuring out, if you're an interior decorator or painter, where your clients live. I think I was, as a print company, I seen this one company that I did a, reverse engineer marketing and saw they made almost all their money from Reddit, right? I was like, how do you make money from Reddit? That's like chatting, and they're selling hella t-shirts, right? But it's a whole algorithm because that's where those people were living,
Parasite. It's
you know.
Parasite SEO. That's
Exactly. But learning where they live, now we jump over there. And that instead of just choosing which platform we like better, like, oh, well, I like TikTok better. Well, maybe your people's not on TikTok. So sometimes it's not, should not be your choice. So that's just a little thought.
Now, this is big, yo. I really appreciate you guys for adding value here. And if you guys are listening and you're paying attention, it's going to whew, it's going to be a big task for you to do, but I also feel like it's going to be one of the best decisions you're going to make for 2024 because right now with AI coming, you got to know where you stand. You got to know what you're standing on. You need to know how you're standing. You need to understand these things because that wave is going to pass you by just like we used to do just like we used to have manual cars, manual shift, shift gears, and now we're doing automatic, and now we're doing electric, and before you know we're going to do solar. Before you know it, I don't know, we're going to be having flying cars. So you don't want to miss the
Nuclear
bus. Or what? Nuclear after solar or before?
after.
Okay. Yeah, after. Exactly. Now this is the future. I love futuristic thinking. So if y'all not with it, I'm cool, but I'm gonna still keep going. And I appreciate that you can see this and we can see it together and y'all can see it as well if you want to. Brendan, I literally looked at one interest, interior design. I called it one interest. I picked what interest did I pick? Design. I picked design, and then I chose 50 keywords, 25%. So I chose 25 set on Pinterest, and I chose. I'm going back there. I chose painting, and then I chose interior paint, right? So those are 50 keywords, one interest. And in the United States alone, I'm going to go back to the segmentation. Let me type in Ohio because I want to just keep it open. So it's Cleveland, Ohio, right, Brendan?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, perfect. So in the whole United States, right, this is based on countries, regions, and metros. The monthly active ads audience I would be reaching if I was to spend money in this niche, and I'm going to tell you what niche I was going to refer to because I have an idea for this ad. If I was to run an ad with you, Brendan, this is what I would do. So I really want us to get on a call so we can have this growth mapping session for sure, for the first quarter.
Oh, most definitely. Look, I'm already on it, man. I sent my email as soon as I get done with this. I'm gonna go through my email, confirm it, and then shoot, I'm already on it, bro.
Appreciate you.
you explain. you explained to him how to flip the market right there, and I hope he caught that because when people don't realize when you say interior design, a lot of things, what comes with interior design a lot of times is interior painting.
Mm-hmm.
So people that are looking for interior designer are going to need an interior painter. So you can flip the market just by going after
Interior
interior design,
decorations.
or you can partner with interior designers to be their go-to painter for the job.
Mm-hmm. This is
So
big, yo. It's big. Flip the market. I'm glad you brought that hit in because you got to look at it from that perspective because 145.5 million to 242.6 million monthly active ads audience. What is an ads audience, right? An ads audience is a potential audience size on Pinterest, and this estimates the number of people. You can read this on your screen if you have a Pinterest business account and you're running ads, and we do this for clients too. Potential audience size estimates the number of people you may be able to reach per month with your campaign. And this is a critical part. It is based on historical advertising data. You know when they say data is dollars, data equals dollars? This is it. It's based on historical advertising data. Why? And I'm gonna pause real quick because Pinterest has a trending tool. Just like Google has Google Trends, there's also Pinterest trends. So there are trends in the market. Right now, what's trending? Taxes, right? So if you're in the taxing business industry, this is your time, this is your season, right? According to other things too. Valentine's is next month. So there's different seasons coming in and out of the year, right? So it's based on historical advertising data and the targeting criteria you select. It doesn't guarantee results or take into account factors such as bid, budget, schedule, seasonality, or product experiments. So in a month, if you're running an ad in the whole United States and you have a budget, you can literally reach out to 242.6 million at the most, right, per month. But you don't want to do that because one, it's too broad. Two, I mean, you might get everybody and anybody, but you want to be specific because you want to do it locally, right? If you're doing it throughout the US, fine. The broader it is, the better. And then after every 7 to 14 day cycle, I'm gonna splice it up and say, okay, 50 states, okay, I'm gonna drop it to 25. Then I'm gonna drop it to 10, and I'm gonna drop it to 5. So there's a strategy to it, and I work with people that work at Pinterest for our clients, so we're able to really like go deep into the surface, below the surface, so you can really get that deep blue ocean strategy. So for you in Ohio, I'm going to drop that 242 million down, and when I click Ohio, same interest, same keywords, now I'm at 2.31 million to 3.85 million. Now imagine if you get, this is a forecast, imagine if you get a 1% conversion, right, on this 3.8 million people. That's
Mm-hmm.
38,500 people. You got to do that
You
times
ready?
one
You
percent
ready to
again.
handle that many clients?
You got to do that again. 1% of the
That
1%.
which is
That's 300.
38 people.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. 38, the 30, but that's like monthly.
And that's on
38 clients a
average.
month.
That's
Technically,
a
it's
38
however that
clients a month.
cycle of ads is, because somebody might be running that every 2 weeks.
right.
That's
And
where
that
you
might be
come
one a
with
day
the.
for you.
Or
That's where you come with
somebody
the
might be running it daily,
SU.
but I ain't there yet. But
You,
yeah, that could be a daily
That's when you
ask.
come with the follow up too.
you
So
Yeah.
you can capture a lot of that back with the follow up.
exactly.
Actually, a lot of people don't realize most money is made in the follow up.
Or
Mm-hmm.
to retarget it.
So, right.
Yep.
And one thing I always, someone always taught me is, it's not what I think, it's not what you think, it's what the market wants.
Exactly.
It's not what I think. That's where a lot of people mess up. They try to force what they think on people instead of looking at the data and converting that data. Let the data tell you what to do. And a lot of people just, that's why they say, oh, it don't work because you're trying to do it. You're trying to do it your way only. And you're trying to force what you want on people instead of you taking what they telling you that the market wants and you converting it that way.
Hmm.
But
Exactly.
that's like that relationship. That's everybody we meet, we can't. We're not getting in. We're not taking it to home base. Tonight, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes it takes a little rapport, a little trust, right? Maybe a joke here too,
Touch points.
maybe some seriousness, some ups and downs, and then they in that,
That's right.
and
Exactly.
that's that
Those touch
retargeting like
points.
you're talking about, or that follow up.
And you know how you can flip the market on this? This 3 million people. Now we would go deeper insight. Like, okay, 3 million people. Great. All right. Next question. How many homes are in Ohio that you can reach by stretch? Let's say within a 10, 20 mile radius, if you really break it down. And then you start breaking it down into zip codes, right? You get your zip code pack. And then you say, okay, I can only reach this zip code, so I'm going to run this ad per day to this maybe 500,000 homes, where I can end up getting maybe 385, signups. Let's say you start getting 385 leads a month. Let's not even talk about sales, because we're talking about leads to meetings to sales, right? You have 385 leads coming in a month on average, if we can do that, which is very possible, right? 385 of those leads, you're sending emails, you're reminding them, you're sending them marketing emails, you're doing blogs. You're not just sending them, hey, sign up, sign up, sign up every email. You got to nurture them. You got to tell them what's the difference between this paint and that paint. You got to go commercial now. Why would I go to
Right.
Home Depot and buy this paint, or why would I go to Lowe's and buy this paint? Why would you buy that paint for me? Is it because my house has this kind of material? What is going on here? What's the outside looking like? What's the inside looking like? Are you going to paint outside and inside, or just inside? If it's just inside, which rooms are you going to paint what color, and what material are you going to use for that color? So it starts to get very, very, very specific. And then you start to understand that, okay, if I want to run an ad on Pinterest, right? What I'm going to do is, out of these 3 million people, this is a sweet spot. So my goal is to figure out how can I reach these people consistently 365 days in a year. This year, we have 366 days in a year. This year. So I would use the ABC method. And what's the ABC method? I'm going to look at the seed keyword, and I'm going to turn that seed keyword and add a letter next to it. So interior paint A, interior paint B. Now on Pinterest, when I type in B, this is for you, Brandon. This is what I wanted to say earlier. I see interior paint before and after. You know what that means? Interior paint before and after, meaning that I can have a side by side ad that you've run, that you've done. You painted, you took a picture before you painted it. After, I'm sure you have those already in your portfolio. Get your best five, do a carousel ad, or do some type of static ad, which we can run. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be like, oh, from this to that, from this to that. Oh, yellow. Okay. Okay. It's Valentine's. Let's use red. Let's use pink. Okay. Let's use white. Let's use gray. Then let's use chrome. Let's use silver. Before you know it, you're using so many colors that when you start looking at your ad sets, you start noticing, oh, people like pink, or people like red, people like yellow. Then you now take off the ones that they don't like. You start breaking it down, breaking it down, breaking it down. Before you know it, you have a retargeting audience you can send back to, because Pinterest not only just sends ads, just like Facebook has meta pixels, Pinterest has a pixel, but they call it a Pinterest tag. Just like LinkedIn has a LinkedIn Insight tag you got to have on your website, you got to have a TikTok pixel, you got to have those things. That's the same way you need a Pinterest tag. Those are things we get to talk about in our meetings, in our
Ooh,
sessions.
ooh. People don't know about those pixels, man. A lot of people I come across, they never heard of a pixel. I got a website. I said, do you have your pixel set up? Do you got your Google tag set up? Do you got your Google Search Console set up? What is that? I'm like, oh, hmm. A lot of people don't. It's just like it's it's a lot to this that people just don't. Those little things make a big difference,
Mhm.
and that's the part. Like as they say, big doors swing on little hinges. It's the little things that people overlook, and that's what really make things work. And it's just those simple things. That pixel can do so much for your retargeting because it's capturing
For
everything
free.
they do when they come to you. Right.
Yeah, that's
So it's like
100%
having
because
an
they should do
autonomous
that
worker.
before they pay for anything. And if people, especially people, like us, when we know, somebody is literally DIYing, you know,
And I
that's why
give you,
I use built
yeah,
with sometimes. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I
I kind
give
of I
you
got a little
one,
signal.
Brandon. If you can, if you got $10, go buy interior painter cleveland.com or something like, or Cleveland Interior Paint. See if that's but I just go for interior painters
Yeah, I like that.
cleveland.com. It's available. So run, go get that.
Put a
Woo!
blog there.
Bro, you getting gems for free this morning, bro. I don't know, like the way you said you're ready, you appeared. This is what you're getting. God is just blessing you with all this knowledge that you can look and say, all right, you know what? I'm a definitely, make this happen. We've talked about 385. I want to ask you, Brendan, how many houses do you have this year in 2024 that you want to paint? Do you have that down? Do you have a goal?
Um, no, I just have a goal of how much I want to make this year in my painting business and another business that I'm doing as well.
So
I got another question to add to that
break
question.
that
Do
down
you?
into days and hours and minutes. How much you need to make a minute? How much do you need to make an hour? How much do you need to make a day? And how long does it take you to how long does it take you to paint a certain house with certain
Yeah,
dimensions?
that's what.
And then another thing you could look at too. So since we're in Cleveland, you know about Cleveland. So say you do something like instead of saying Cleveland, say well I ain't gonna say instead of Cleveland, but what you can do is add things like uh, Soul and East Lake. I don't know if you go west east. You prefer to go east or west, or how much in how many mile radius you willing to travel, but you want to include all those suburban areas because those people can pay you more and they
Yes,
have
sir.
bigger houses. So it's just looking at it. What you create, you gonna create what you call your topical authority. So those things matter.
And a lo-
That's
and
why,
that's
like, that's the
SOP
difference
too.
between right. That's the difference between 1 and 2 page websites and somebody with a 10 and 20 page website. They're gonna dominate because they they building that website up to basically show the EEAT. There's no way nobody else would beat you with a 1 page website. Pretty much, if you got a 10 page website that's optimized for search, you're going to be the authority figure in the area or something like that.
Exactly.
I just wanted to add to the that strategy process because having that physical service, is definitely key to paying attention to when it comes to your geo targeting and your mile radius like he was just talking about. Me myself as a I don't do no interior decorating, but as a print company, I do wall murals and stuff like that. So when it comes to even getting those leads, sometimes it's that questionnaire that will even save you time to process that lead. What's your budget? $0. Oh, is that client worth driving out to? Right? Maybe they sound like they're not ready, right? Or an estimation process, right? Um, you know, to be able to have other people do estimates if necessary. Even documenting that process. Being able to if you do that the plan that was a good rhetorical question that Favor asked you. But as far as do you have a plan if you do get 365 bookings, but something wrong? Your legs hurt today, your knees hurt today, you hurt your knee for a week. Do you have a plan for somebody else to help you fulfill that job position? You can think of it like that, or you can think of, what if I get a contract that's going to require more than me? Even me, I do decals and stuff like that. But when I got the Sam's Club contract to be able to do decals inside of a whole Sam's Club, it's not just always about my capabilities. If I'm into government contracts, State Department contracts, we talk about interior decorating. The fire office might need interior decorate, right? Being State Department qualified, all that stuff is that. But the main thing is having a business even if it has to be written that way to make sure you have backup. And the more you may not teach and consult people how to interior decorate and stuff like that, but the more you document your process on how to do things, the easy you'll actually have that training for when somebody does come along. So putting those things in place, maybe using AI to. I've seen some AI interior decorating. That
I was
that
about
makes
to
you can
say,
have 365 posts just with that, talking about something that enables them to book your service. So,
Right.
mm,
There's so many things you can run through. I have a hard stop at 8:30 because I have a meeting, and I'm in Atlanta. Just so that y'all just know where I'm at. But this has been a great room. I'm so happy that D, you came up here, Hidden, you came up here, Brendan, you showed up, you showed out. This room was literally for you, if I'm completely honest, because I just didn't know how this room was going to go, but I knew that one thing would lead to the other, and something will happen, and something will click, and something will just go.
so I got
So
some good Pinterest stuff.
you know what I'm saying? So let's get on that call, Brendan, and want to give you a few seconds to let us know what your thoughts are before we wrap up the room, because I got to jump in the call right now.
30 seconds or less. Just, I really appreciate y'all for the nuggets y'all dropped for a young brother. And I'm just looking forward to working, well, hopefully with a Hidden, if we could link up and
oh yeah, send me a
maybe do.
message, bro. I just want just give you a couple things before you get a little quick 30 seconds. I just went on Google, fired on my computer real quick. I put interior painting, and it says how. One question that's being asked: how much does it cost to painting 3,000 square foot house interior? Make a blog, answer that question. And last thing with that is definitely we need to get together and just like you can do big things with that, man. You can do big things with what you're doing. Local.
Exactly.
Thank,
Exactly that
thank
part.
favor for the room as always, man. I try to get here when I can.
Appreciate you,
Luckily my
man.
kids out of school today, so I was
True.
available.
True. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here. D as well. Appreciate you, Brendan, Brent, Morel. Thank you so much as well. True. Thank you all for being here. And shout out to Rocky too, who's the founder of the Social Rocky House. So yeah, this is what we do every day. Most times we come here a lot, and I want to be here in the morning a lot more because I think that's just the best way to do things. Because I have a busy day today. I was like, I'm probably going to be on Clubhouse, but I'm not. I'm definitely not having another room today because I'm stacked up. But appreciate you. Definitely take action. Click the link above. Listen to the replay and learn something new. Take action by either connecting with me,
Let's
Hidden,
go.
or D. Exactly. Reach out to us. We can collaborate. We can work together. You just got to get the roadmap, and we're gonna make this happen. So with that said, have a blessed day. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I'm gonna see y'all.
Let's be great.
Yep.